Took us about 2 years to get back to previous record highs, and from the breakout, we're up about 326 points, or just shy of 7%. So again, S&P 500 closes at brand new all-time highs today, over 5,100. The NASDAQ, or I should say the Dow 30, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, was also up about 90 points on the day, just shy of a new all-time record high, closing at 39,087. We'll go ahead and look at the NDX, which is the NASDAQ 100. Again, closing at a brand new all-time record high. The NASDAQ 100 closed up 259 points, or about 1.5% on the day, trading at 18,302. And now we'll check the NASDAQ composite. My computer will load. So the NASDAQ comp hit a brand new all-time record high today again, up about 183 points, or about 1%, trading at 16,274. So just an absolute monster market that we have going on in 2024. Now, regardless from equities, Bitcoin is also trading back above $60,000. Currently, we're trading at 62,000 even for Bitcoin. But in addition to that, we have some new breaking news. We need to give a warm welcome to Supermicro Computer, ticker symbol SMCI. Just announced at the market close, it will be joining the S&P 500, and this is after the stock soared more than 20-fold in just about 2 years. So ticker symbol SMCI, Supermicro Computer. It's trading over $1,000 a share in after-hours trading, up about 100 points. So this is pretty good action here for the market. I think we could all agree on that. We'll take a look at IWM, which is the Russell 2000 ETF. And as we've been talking about, we want to see that rotation into smaller caps. And IWM had a pretty good day, up about 1%, trying to break over that 200 level. And then we'll check at IWC, if the computer would load, which is microcap shares, also trading up about 1% on the day, breaking out over the swing high set back in December. So markets are acting pretty well, so everything is good. Some quick announcements, everybody. Go ahead and check your emails, okay? Because yesterday I did send out our free investing newsletter where we covered a lot. I titled the piece, Extreme Fear Drives Price Higher. Now, we first started off the newsletter talking about the Japanese equity indices, right? Hitting new all-time record highs. We briefly went into some of the demographics in Japan, and there's about 54% of Japanese household assets. Okay, so 54% of all Japanese household assets are estimated to be in cash or simple deposits. Okay, this is just as the Japanese indices are hitting new record highs that took them 34 years, 1 month, and 27 days to do that. So what this tells us is that the populace, right, is egregiously underinvested in this market. And again, this is just from my analysis, you're looking at much higher prices here. Then we went on to talk about India, went on to talk about Mexico. We briefly touched upon some hospitality stocks such as Hyatt and Hilton. And then we ended starting to kind of do an analysis of the boutique investment banks on Wall Street and how we can use their price action as a gauge of market sentiment and market breadth. So we talked about Houlihan Lokey, Jefferies, Guggenheim, Evercore, Lazard, and Rothschild Partners. So again, if you want to receive that, go ahead and scan the QR code on the screen, punch in your email, and you will be signed up to receive the newsletter. Again, we send it out every other Thursday at the market close, and this is what it looks like. So we have all of our free research published for the chat available for you for free. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close up the laptop and we will get started here in just a moment. Happy Friday to everybody, and thank you for joining us tonight on Walks on Wall Street. I appreciate it very much. All right, let's see who we have in the chat, everybody. Hopefully you all are having a fantastic Friday and wishing you all a beautiful weekend. We definitely need a break. So, hey, I see our good friend Ryan Beck. Always a pleasure to see you, Ryan. Hopefully you're well. Molly's here. Palmer, what's going on? Ali Star, Hoto, what's going on? Justin Peters here. Frank T, thanks so much for joining us. Who else we got here? All of our moderators. We have DC, Diana, John, Justin S, Crypto Meme, Nakos, Cynthia, Ava, Esmeralda, Joseph Hardaway. We pretty much got the whole crew in here, so hopefully everybody's doing well. Yeah, so we do have some breaking news after hours, yet again. Interesting action. We have to welcome ticker symbol SMCI, Supermicro Computer, just announced, will be added to the S&P 500. And, you know, we've been writing about that company, and it's not to say that, oh, we've been writing about it, the stock's going up. It's more of an educational aspect, because as we talk about these TMLs, a very specific set of characteristics all of these stocks have in common, right? So your liquid leaders for this market or for this cycle, obviously NVIDIA, I would say SMCI, pretty much all the stocks that are up and out already, trading at new all-time record highs and 52-week highs, right? That were out first in the first leg of this bull market. They are trading at new all-time record highs for a reason, and they're the first ones out for a reason. Real quick, this is the Trump Tower. This is the residential entrance. So if you own a condo or you rent, this is where you go in. This is a mixed-use building, so you have offices, you have retail, condominiums as well. You see 432 Park Avenue in the distance on the right. So institutions, again, you know, they hire the best and brightest from all over the world, and they do significant research on these companies. And they invest their capital very wisely into companies that will generate future returns for shareholders, right? And investing, and we kind of talk about this all the time, when you're buying a company, right, you want to buy a company that is going to produce significant earnings in the future, right? So you look at, what is the earnings growth? What is the revenue growth? Is the company addressing a massive TAM, right? So if a company is selling a product or a service, what is the TAM or total addressable market of that product or service? So, I mean, you think about NVIDIA, you think about, you know, Microsoft, think about Salesforce, all of the greatest liquid leaders in the market. You know, they have extreme earnings power, so massive earnings power, massive revenue growth, pre-tax, after-tax margins, return on equity. These are the cream of the crop companies, and there's a reason why they are trading the way they are. So it's good to make a mental note of the top performing stocks and then do what I like to call a post-analysis, where you do a deep dive into the companies, and over time you'll start to notice a pattern. Stocks that generally go up over time have significant earnings power, significant sales growth, and you can kind of model that blueprint, right? And extrapolate that and project that into the future for your other investments. Hey, Gadot, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it. Paul, what's going on? Hawaii, thanks so much for joining. Welcome. Nakos, this is great achievement for them. Yeah, it's fantastic, right? Joe E says, good evening, Tom. Wishing you a happy weekend. Likewise. Texan 1212 says happy Friday. Pineapple Water says I'm checking out on Mexico. So what is the time? What do you mean? Anyway, Kenny, what's going on from San Francisco, California? We may start to head downtown tonight because it is quite cold and windy. You know, the weather in New York City has just been absolutely bonkers over the last couple of days. This week has been crazy. It's been 50 degrees, it's been 60 degrees, it's been 35 degrees, it's been 40 degrees, it's been raining, it's been sunny. You know, the weather is very volatile, kind of like the stock market. Right? Hey, Michelle, good to see you. Thanks so much. Sylvia Perez, trust you well. Now, I don't think we covered the PPE, the inflation report that came out. We may have, but I think I forgot. Inflation came in line with expectations, I believe about 2.8%. And we've gotten some news from some of the other Fed presidents, right? Not the Fed chair, but we oftentimes hear about from different Fed presidents, and it seems as if, you know, they're kind of turning their hawkish tune on a little bit more. And if you look at the CME Group Fed Watch tool, this is a very good kind of free tool that you could check out. Once again, if you just Google CME Group Fed Watch tool, it'll give you the live updates or real-time probabilities of, you know, a cut at each one of the different FOMC meetings. And the market's really turned around in a big way. I would say the futures market, in kind of walking back their exuberance, so to speak, in pricing in rate cuts for 2024. For many reasons in which we've discussed at length as we're looking at the beautiful Plaza Hotel here. Now, we think about this again, right? We'll kind of go through all of these different scenarios here. You have many market participants and many, you know, analysts calling for the Fed to cut significantly this year. But I say, you know, what is the catalyst for them to cut? Right, the Federal Reserve, their purpose is to kind of pull the levers on the economy when things are running too hot. They'll stop buying U.S. Treasuries and mortgage-backed securities. They'll let assets roll off the balance sheet, and they'll start to raise interest rates to kind of cool things off a little bit. So this is like a Goldilocks scenario for Fed Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, because he's raised interest rates, right, the Fed funds rate, all the way to 5.25% to 5.5%, and you have the S&P 500 just today again, closing above 5,100 for the first time in history. Equity indices are trading at all-time record highs. Okay, we have record low unemployment in the country. Right, people are employed. People are generally doing well. Valuations are near record highs for equities, which we just said, not to repeat myself. But also, you have the housing market relatively tight still. And we haven't seen valuations come down all that much. I think valuations have come down in specific markets, right? Like the ones that we've been talking about. So generally, there's no real reason, right? Unless there's a black swan event or something like that, and the Fed is forced to cut rates. Why would the Fed cut when the market is telling you that, yeah, we could operate fine, just fine in a normal interest rate environment? I don't even like to say a higher for longer interest rate environment, because if you look historically, this isn't actually all that abnormal to have rates at this level. So I don't know. What do you guys think? If I was the Federal Reserve Chairman and I'm looking at all this data that's coming in, and I'm like, stock market's at all-time record highs, housing market's still competitive, still a little bit tight, and inflation is not yet to our 2% target. Yeah, let me go ahead and stimulate the economy and reignite inflation by cutting interest rates. I don't know about that. I don't know. Anyway, guys, this is the Sherry Netherland Hotel. This is the main entrance. We're looking down 5th Avenue. It's quite quiet tonight in the city. All the way in the distance, you see the Deutsche Bank Tower. You see 220 Central Park South, Central Park Tower, and the beautiful Steinway building as we approach the Upper East Side of Manhattan. Hey, Abdullah, what's up? Cynthia's just passed the Sherry Netherlands, popular commercial when I was a kid. Oh, I didn't know that. I never knew they ran commercials. It's pretty cool. Hey, DM, what's going on? This is hello, Tom, and everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. Always a pleasure to see you. I love that shot of Billionaires Row. It's insane. Just an incredible feat here. Hey, Ryan Beck, thank you for your generosity. Appreciate you very, very much. Jamie says 007 pal. No time for cuts. Justin S says, do you think they could have raised rates earlier so the increase wouldn't have been so much in a short amount of time? Yeah, I guess anything in hindsight, right? And I kind of like to put myself in check a little bit too, because, you know, and this may be a controversial statement, but I truly believe that being the Fed chair, right, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, is a more powerful position than the President of the United States. I'm gonna say it. I think being in this spot of the Fed chair, that's what I think. So with all of the pressure that is on Jerome Powell and all of the stakes, I mean, the stakes are pretty high, it's quite incredible what he's done, you know, with the environment he's had, right? Going through a pandemic, you know, not crashing the economy while still getting interest rates up there, bringing inflation down from 9.1% to 2.9%. So, you know, I think he's done a good job, you know. I love all the crown moldings here in the architecture. Look at that. Stunning here. Look at all that marble. This is beautiful. Yeah, Tony says keep the rates where they are. The market needs to adjust. For sure. And the market is essentially telling us that it's okay to have, you know, rates at 5.25%, 5.5%, and you know, we can survive in that type of environment, right? We've gotten too acclimated to a very, very unrealistic, artificially suppressed interest rate environment for the past, how should I say, over a decade. So this is actually very encouraging action. However, right, I think the Fed will cut if they're forced to. If there's some sort of black swan event, if there's a systemic crisis in the banking system, which we'll talk about that on Monday. I just don't have the energy to talk about it now. You know, I think there's still some trouble brewing in the regional banking sector, which, you know, we can discuss. Hey, RJ, what's going on? Evan Weeks says, evening all. Good to see you, Evan. Yeah, John Sunderland has just announced after hours super microcomputer SMCI will be added to the S&P 500. Yeah, that's big breaking news after hours. Now, the stock was trading at about $900, I think, right at the close. We're trading at over $1,000 a share now, which is just really quite incredible. I mean, just this is bull market action, right? These moves happen in bull markets. Rocky Rocks says NVIDIA has real earnings. All others are pump and dump. SMCI is one of them. Interesting. Alyssa, good to see you. Welcome. All right, let's cross here. We are now on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. It's a lot quieter here, more tranquil, very peaceful. Not a lot of street traffic and not a lot of vehicle traffic either, the later you are. You see a lot of this birthday cake style architecture where it's kind of layered and tapered at the top. Now they did that back in the day to prevent so much shadow and overcast on the street, to let some of the sunlight hit the street. Ryan Beck says, I think not cutting rates is bullish, indicates the economy is strong enough to sustain as we are. Yeah, and you know, when we look at some of the leading economic indicators, to your point, specifically the Institute for Supply Management PMI numbers, right? It's a pretty cool building. And if we look at what a lot of the respondents are saying in the manufacturing sector, they're essentially saying, look, we are just looking for stability, so to speak. We're not necessarily looking for interest rates to come down. We just want to have certainty that they're not going to go up anymore, right? We just kind of want some clarity, because if you're living in no man's land and you don't know if rates are going to go up and you're taking on debt that could potentially have some adjustables, right? And you're trying to plan a new project. Let's say if you want to build a new plant, you want to build a new warehouse, a new factory, you want to borrow money and invest in R&D, research and development. You really just want to make sure that your cost of capital isn't going to go up anymore. And you're starting to see that, so you're going to have a lot more businesses feel more comfortable with launching new projects, right? And that's kind of what we've been seeing a lot, which is good. Now, again, the only thing that I see that could kind of throw us off course a little bit is if we start to have some blow-ups in the regional banking sector, so to speak. And the reason why I'm quite concerned about the regional banks is because they hold the most exposure to a lot of the commercial real estate debt, right? Which, as we've been talking about, we don't really need to do a recap of it. We talk about it enough. There could be some problems there, but I think we just have to watch it. We just have to watch it. That's kind of what I'll say. Let's continue to head a little bit further to the Upper East Side. It's beautiful up here. This is Park Avenue. This is looking downtown towards the MetLife building, as well as Grand Central Station. Pretty cool. Yeah, Thomas says the markets have been great. Absolutely. Hey, JC, it's good to see you. Thanks so much. This is, how do you anticipate AI being used in your real estate industry? I think it'll streamline a lot of processes, and hopefully, right, one of the things that I'm really hopeful for is it can reduce a lot of the friction in the legal aspect, right? There's a lot of gray area in legal, and that's kind of what I've learned in my time being in real estate here in New York City. Just the zoning opinions and this and that. And what I've noticed, and it's not to kind of sound like I'm being a little bit negative on it, a lot of this legal stuff, guys, is just how I should say efficiently and effectively you could build your case in persuading somebody that you interpreted the law in the appropriate way. There's so much gray area where, if you could have an AI that makes those definitive decisions, right? And it could reduce all the back and forth between the attorneys. It would just make things so much easier. And I think transactions would get done at maybe a little bit more of an affordable cost. I would say that's the number one area in a transaction, at least from the transactions that I've been involved in, that holds up the transaction the most and costs a lot of money, is the legal, right? The diligence. Yeah, I mean, that's what I would say. I mean, what do you guys think? I think any task that is a little bit monotonous, repetitive, AI could really come in and help that. So, AJ5 says, anyone here bought the Vision Pro? I haven't, but the thing looks pretty cool. I like it a lot. We'll go up to 65th Street and then we'll head back down. You can see just the quiet, really nice townhomes here on the Upper East Side. Hey, Cosmo Scary, what's going on? Thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it. Mariana, Texas. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, Peter, I saw that. New York Community Bank tanked today. They have a lot of loans on rent-controlled apartments. Yeah, again, a lot. I think that kind of, sector could see some turbulence, but maybe a lot of that stuff will get absorbed by other bigger banks. Who knows? And that's another concern, because nobody wants to see a bank monopoly in the United States. I mean, I won't speak for everybody, but I'm sure that, in my opinion, it's good to have a robust regional banking sector. If not, it's just going to be Jamie Dimon and Brian Moynihan running the show. And I don't think anybody wants that. And I don't even think they want that, right? If it's just JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and a few big players, that constantly acquire and absorb all the other banks, I don't know if that's good for the country. I'm going to be honest. My God, look at this. Okay, guys, I mean, talk about stunning. Look at this townhome here. Oh my gosh. You can only imagine, right? This is right off Park Avenue. Beautiful windows. Looks like it's a 6-story townhome. Really incredible. This one is really nice too. This is more of a brownstone like esque. Yeah, that's true. Evan Weeks' monopolies in any sector are bad, except, yeah, I totally agree with that. Guys, look at how unique this is. And I love how the owner has these spotlights to kind of backlight on the stone there. I mean, look at how crazy nice that is. Hey, David says that is a great block. I've been down it. Yeah, it's really cool, because very seldom do we get to see this kind of architecture in Midtown Manhattan, right? Look at this. Really beautiful. Wow, I kind of wish this stream was during the day so I could turn on the wide angle camera lens just to show everybody the architecture in a little bit better detail. Hey, Amy T, what's up? Good to see you. Yeah, Cosmo, this is the Upper East. I mean, the architecture is some of my favorite. Vincent's this great neighborhood. It's nice, right? I'm kind of glad we got thrown off and came down here. It's a nice change from all of the other developments in Manhattan, right, that we talk about, like the Extel developments, like 157, Central Park Tower, 1 Manhattan Square. These just have a little bit more character to them, I think. Wow, look at that. Yeah, let's hang around the Upper East Side a little bit more. What do you guys think? It's Friday night. Let's check it out. And it's going to be quieter up here anyway. So this is back on Madison Avenue. Look at this. This is where a lot of the retail storefronts are. Now, the good news is, if you remember on previous live streams where we toured the Upper East Side of Manhattan, this was probably about a year ago, you saw a lot of these retail storefronts totally vacant. The occupancy has actually improved quite materially, and I think we'll try to explore that tonight. Looks like there's a new development going on up there. Hey, Zozo Bob says, Tom, aren't you supposed to be in Miami today? I wish. I'm flying out Sunday night, so we're gonna do the stream tomorrow. However, Sunday night, I'm gonna be flying back to Miami, and I'm looking forward to being back in the 305. I'm really, really looking forward to doing that. Hodo says, do they have rear yards? Some of them do. Yeah, some of them have backyards. This is a cool shot of 432 Park Avenue. It's beautiful, right? And a lot of the retail's coming back. You're gonna see a lot of cool retail storefronts here. And if you're watching the stream for the first time, you're probably thinking to yourself, oh my God, this is New York City and the streets are dead. There's not a person, there's not a soul on the street. This is how it always is, you know, pre and post pandemic, particularly on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. The Upper East Side, you know, I'd say after like 6:30 or 7 p.m., it's not very well trafficked on foot, right? A lot of older, you know, New Yorkers, older in age, I should say. Old money kind of lives on the Upper East. It's very quiet. If you're looking for residential, that's also quite robust in terms of nightlife, I would actually recommend the Upper West Side of Manhattan. It has a little bit of a younger vibe. It's not so buttoned up. I feel like when I enter the Upper East Side, I gotta, you know, throw a tie on. Wow, check this out. Giorgio Armani Residences. And look who it is. It's Douglas Elliman. Douglas Elliman Development Marketing. So we will be on this building. This is cool. 760 Madison Avenue. If anybody's next to their computer, well, I guess that was dumb. I think everybody's obviously next to their computer or their phone. Check it out, 760MadisonAvenue.com, and maybe let's take a look at some of the renderings and see what some of these model units are going to look like. Giorgio Armani Residences. Let's cross the street and see what the facade looks like from the other side. Hey, out and about, what's going on? Good to see you. We're walking up Madison Avenue tonight on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. You have a straight shot all the way to 1 Vanderbilt too. Wow. You know, I love how, so this is what the building's gonna look like. And I absolutely love how the developer kind of kept, even though this is brand new development, they're going to keep the architectural integrity in tune with the neighborhood, with that kind of like birthday wedding cake style. I think if you put, you know, a super tall, you know, glass skyscraper here, it would totally throw off the neighborhood, I think. Rick B says the full floor starts at 21 million. JF says you are a liar. New York City never looked like this. Ever born and raised here, buddy. You are a joke. Thank you, JF. Appreciate you watching. Evan Weeks says, let's be real. The building will never look like that. Yeah. it'll in perpetuity have scaffolding all over it. That's true. Now look at this building. This one is incredible. Look at the detail here. Peterson's Madison Avenue is still associated with the advertising industry. Yeah, when people refer to Madison Avenue, they definitely refer to, you know, advertising. You know, my grandmother used to work at Young and Rubicam, Y&R. Not sure if anybody's heard of that, but Young and Rubicam, I believe, is at 5 Columbus Circle now. You know, it's interesting because even particularly, you know, and we've had this conversation, wow, these are amazing facades here. Look at that. This one is a driveway too. You know, even when people say, and especially a lot of people that are not from New York, they say, oh, Wall Street, you think of Lower Manhattan. There's not really a lot of financial activity that happens down there anymore. The last standing investment bank, or I should say bulge bracket investment bank, Deutsche Bank, which is the German bank, they are no longer on Wall Street. They used to be 60 Wall Street, and they've since moved up to Time Warner Center, which is now the Deutsche Bank Center. And if you think about hedge funds, major investment banks, a lot of that is on Park Avenue, Midtown Manhattan, just north of Times Square, you know, and that's all due to the internet, right? Algorithmic trading and, you know, computers. You don't need to be on one physical street anymore. So I would even argue that, you know, the real Wall Street in New York City is probably Park Avenue, just north of Grand Central. So look at this townhome here. You have a private access driveway. It's unbelievable. Look at those skylights there too. Wow, look at the architecture here. Hey, Vincent. This is that neighborhood is my next walk when I'm in the city. Thanks for going that way. Appreciate it. Justin says, Tom, will you be walking around Miami and streaming down there? We will. We will be in Miami the first week of March, which is now. So I'm flying out Sunday night, and we will be doing streams from Brickell, downtown Miami. It's incredible here, isn't it? I could assure you it looks better in person than on the stream. And you're a stone's throw away from Central Park too. Central Park is literally right at the end of the block. So I'll give you all a recommendation, since we're on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. I think it'd be appropriate. My favorite museum of all time in New York is the Henry Clay Frick Museum. You can go ahead and write that down. It's the Frick collection. And what's so beautiful about that museum is not necessarily all of the artifacts that remain within the museum. It's the museum in and of itself. And I'll explain why. The museum resides in the home, the actual home of Henry Clay Frick, who is a multi-billionaire. He made his money during the Industrial Revolution, and when he passed away, he turned his house into a museum for all to enjoy. Now, unfortunately, the physical museum, the location, is shut down for renovations, but you can still see all of the different pieces of art, the artifacts that are on display at a satellite location of the Frick collection. So if you're planning your next trip to New York, I would really try to go out of my way to do that, to see the Frick collection. And hopefully sooner rather than later, the renovations will be complete on the actual home. It's an awesome, awesome place. And a lot of times they share a lot of the artifacts with the Morgan Library, which is also one of my favorite places in Manhattan too. Hey, Dan Sang, what's up? My day was good. Hopefully your day is good as well. I'm just a little tired, man. It's been a crazy, crazy week. It's been a very good week, a successful week, so hopefully the same for you. Hey, Brad, what's going on? Yeah, we very seldom come to the Upper East Side, but I'm kind of glad we did tonight. It's a beautiful neighborhood and it's quiet. Now there's a very, very good college on the Upper East Side called Hunter College, that is in the City University New York system, not to be confused with SUNY. Now there's really two main education institutions or systems in New York State. Number one is SUNY, S-U-N-Y, which stands for the State University of New York. And then you have CUNY, C-U-N-Y, that stands for City University of New York. And CUNY Hunter College is pretty much right here on the block. I went to CUNY John Jay College. It's a criminal justice school. Oh, look at these. 1578. Holy crap. It's incredible. If you guys want to check out this gallery, you could scan the QR code and check out some of the pieces that are in here. You know, you're not going to get anything like this anywhere else in the world. It's amazing here. Hey, Elliott Wave Review, what's up? This is Tom. Which neighborhood is the most expensive? You know, it's funny because we just had a recent transition here in New York. The West Village is now the most expensive neighborhood in New York City. Kind of crazy, right? Wow, look at this townhome. This is nuts. All right, we've asked this question 1,000 times. But if money wasn't an issue, right? If you could pick to live anywhere in Manhattan, and if you could pick, Central Park Tower, one of those crazy duplexes or triplex overlooking Central Park, or if you could choose any of these beautiful townhomes, what do you think you'd choose to live in? An Upper East Side townhome? Or is, some of the new ritzy, glitzy buildings a little bit more your style? I don't know, it's gonna be tough. I think I'd still choose to live in 157. I like it a lot. Yeah, amazing days is FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology. Is that what FIT stands for? I think so, right? Yeah, that is in the SUNY system. Someone says, Tom, isn't Columbia University in New York City? It is. It's uptown on the west side. Now that's not the SUNY or CUNY system. That is an Ivy League institution. It's one of the greatest education institutions in the entire world, actually. Columbia University. Hawaii says 130 William. Love that. Love 130 William. I'm seeing a lot of 432 Park Avenue. Let's, out of curiosity, let's see what the monthly rates are for parking. They only show you the daily rates. They don't show you the monthly rates. Sea Devils is 5th Avenue, the 70s or 80s. Very far. Extremely far. Yankee Stadium is in the Bronx. Now this is Park Avenue. Whoa, what a shot. How cool is that? We're standing in the middle of Park Avenue and you're looking all the way down. You could see the sea of traffic going into Grand Central Station. That is a really, really unique view, looking directly down Park. And there's 432 Park Avenue in the distance. Now, speaking of Billionaires Row and all of these crazy apartments, I just uploaded a property tour of the last available sponsor unit at 157 West 57th Street, which is actually the first building ever constructed on New York City's Billionaires Row. Now, it's the last sponsor unit available. It's 1 bedroom, 1.5 bathroom with 393 square feet of outdoor patio space. If you want to see it, let me know what you think. If you type !57, so !57 in the chat, the Nightbot will drop the link to that tour. Now, it's a very expensive apartment, right? It's listed for $3,950,000 for a 1 bedroom. Interior just over 1,000 square feet. But you got to understand, it's in 157 where you have the Park Hyatt Hotel, which is a 5-star ultra luxury hotel in Manhattan. You have all of the amenities that the Park Hyatt has to offer. You have the swimming pool, you have a full aquarium in there, you have a billiards room, everything. Like so much really amenities there. It's insane. Additionally, you know, you're also really paying to be a part of a club, so to speak, right? Chances are, if you're living at 157, if you're living at Central Park Tower, 432 Park Avenue, who else lives there? All other different billionaires from all different backgrounds and businesses. So you're essentially buying into an elite club where you could do deals together. You know, I mean, that's kind of also how a lot of these buyers think about it. So not only are they buying trophy properties, you know, you're also buying into a very exclusive sort of networking club for the ultra wealthy. It's quite interesting, for sure. Hey, DM says, I love the townhomes. Love that. Justin says, Tom, what is your current address you're at? I'm going to look it up on Google Maps. Oh, you mean like where we're at right now? I thought you were talking about like, hey, where do you currently live? I was going to be like, what do you want, my social security number next, pal? We're at East 65th Street and Park Avenue. East 65th and Park. Hey, good to see all of our viewers from Scotland. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate. Brad's brain, I appreciate that. Yeah, Cynthia Abel says 130 William is insane. I just looked it up. Yeah, it's an amazing building. Now, 130 William is actually the best-selling condominium in Lower Manhattan. And Lower Manhattan historically has been a very tough sale, I should say in recent history, right? Because you have the highest amount of vacancy in terms of commercial office space in Lower Manhattan. So generally speaking, people want to work or live relatively close to where they work. And there's a lot of vacancy there. You know, it's tough. A lot of the new developments there are not selling well at all. Look at that. You have Steinway Tower, and then you have Central Park Tower too. It's amazing. Hey, Todd Smith says, sorry, I could buy a nice place with over 500 acres of land where I live. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, the way I think about it is the following. You know, I know a lot of people kind of make that comparative analysis. Oh my God. You know, for example, why would I ever spend $110 million? You see where the lights are on right there? That duplex just closed, sold and closed for 110 million, right? And many people out there are like, oh my God, what idiot would buy that for $110 million when they could buy, you know, this in my hometown or that? Well, the answer is they do. They also buy that. It's not either or for them. It's both. It's everything. It's when you get to that level of wealth, yeah, you buy the 1,000 acres, you know, in the middle of the country, and you also get the penthouse here, and you get the place in Malibu, and you get the place in Palm Beach and Venice and the like, right? So it's not one or the other. It's both, everything, and when I need it right now. That's kind of the way you should think about it at that type of level, right? I mean, if I was worth, you know, several $billion, you know, of course I'll invest in some land, maybe rent it to some cattle ranchers, but then I'll also get a place on the Upper West Side, the Upper East Side. Maybe I'll get something in, you know, Florida. It's kind of how they think about it. Hey, Lori, what's going on? Elliot Wave Reviews says, Tom, aside from Miami, Florida, are you bullish for real estate? Oh, besides any other city? Yeah, I'm very bullish New York City, and I'm very bullish San Francisco right now. I think you're gonna see really, really good, you're already seeing extremely good values for residential property in San Francisco. Mainly because valuations have eroded and deteriorated so much. And we kind of went through that. That value proposition before, specifically with San Francisco, right? Because you have an interesting thing that's happening in San Fran right now, where the talent pool is so robust. Still, if anything, the talent pool for startups is as robust as it's ever been in San Francisco. But you have, you know, the crime, you have the homelessness that is driving property values into the dirt. So that gap is going to close at one point or the other. So, you know, if I could pick up a property at 20% off, 30% off in San Francisco right now, hold it for 5-10 years, I think that the environment in San Francisco is going to be cleaned up in a big way. And once it is cleaned up, guess what? Those properties are going right back to where they were, +2. Okay? It happens in every cycle. It's the same thing in every cycle. The San Francisco Bay Area is not going away. I spent about a decade in tech, and I have a lot of friends who are founders. I have a lot of friends who work at, you know, some big tech companies. And look, not to say I'm not trying to negate all of the egregious things that are going on there, right? There's horrible things going on in San Francisco. What I'm saying is, once all of that is cleaned up, those property values are going right back to where they were, and some. Albatross to San Francisco is the dumps. But you know, that's what makes a market, right? That's what makes a market. Like, you guys have to like conceptualize this, because you have bulls and you have bears. That's what makes a market, right? It's the same thing in stocks. Some people think Google's going to go up, some people think it's going to go down. So people buy the stock, some people sell the stock, and some people sell it short, right? That's what makes a market. But if you study the history of not only real estate but the stock market, if you buy good assets, right, you want to buy good assets at great prices, and try to identify the variables that will make that asset go up, right? And in the real estate business, you generally speaking want to buy property in and around where there's great educational infrastructure, right? So great colleges, great public schools, great universities, institutions, right? Because if you look where all of the best universities are across the United States, it attracts a lot of companies as well, right? So you have a very robust job growth. It's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So you want to buy close to very good schools, because that attracts people from all over the world to go to those schools. And then you want to buy where there's job growth and generally speaking, where things are safe. But what creates mispricings in the marketplace is exactly what's going on right now in San Francisco, where you have an incompetent political environment that's destroying the city. But that is not a fixed variable. That can change, and I think it will change. That's the bet, right? An investment requires risk. The risk is that it doesn't change, right? But the bet I'm making is that it will change. And if it does change, the real estate people have acquired in San Francisco is going to go right back to where it was. That's my view. Wow, look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. The residence at the historic Sherry Netherland. Could you imagine sitting out on your balcony and having that view? It's pretty insane. Oh, this one I know of. 150 Central Park South. If you guys Google that building, right? If you Google the building 150 Central Park South, the building kind of has like a teepee style top, and there's a whole apartment in that top of the building. It's crazy to look at. There's actually some property tours of it online. We might as well walk there right now. That building is stunning. Okay, you gotta Google it. 150 Central Park South, and there's a full floor apartment in the very top roof of the building. It's very cool. Hey, Tariq Khan, what's going on? Says, hey Tom, say hello to my kids. Hey, Alexander and Ella. God bless and have a fantastic weekend. Thanks so much for watching. Wishing you a fantastic weekend. Yeah, and Tariq was emailing me earlier in the week, and he said that he was this weekend he was gonna take you guys out for ice cream or something like that. Like, you guys are gonna go to a really nice restaurant. You guys are gonna get ice cream, so I'm excited for you guys for that. So Alexander, enjoy your dinner and ice cream this week. Smokes a Lot says, I lived in San Francisco for 10 years, or 10 years ago. I moved out of California and now own Sorry, I lost your comment. Own an 8-bedroom house, San Francisco. Nice. Well, congratulations on the house. A collector's dreams. Says Tom, have you seen the Aston Martin dealership in Manhattan? Yeah, we're actually, well, technically this isn't the dealership, this is the showroom, I think. So it's right here, we're coming up on it. And they actually have a pretty interesting Formula One car in here. We'll check it out now, might as well. Hey, Tom AK, what's up? Good to see you, Tom. Oh, you have the Aston Martin showroom in the back. Just a quick announcement. Just a quick reminder, I guess I should say. Yesterday, I emailed everybody the 4th issue of the Behind the Street newsletter, which is our free investing newsletter, as well as our NYC real estate newsletter. We covered a lot. So if you want to receive it and if you want to read it, just go ahead and scan the QR code on your screen and punch in your email and it'll take you to our Substack. We talked a lot about emerging markets. We talked about Japan, right? Japan hitting a new all-time record high for the first time in 34 years, right before I was born. We did a deep dive into some hospitality stocks, right? Hilton Hotel, as well as Hyatt Hotel reporting record-breaking earnings, stocks trading into new all-time record highs. And then we gave you an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the last available sponsor unit on Billionaires Row, 157. So if you want to see that apartment tour, just go ahead and scan the QR code on your screen and punch in your email. But look at this. This is the Formula One vehicle. That's the Saudi Aramco.
They just had this in Vegas. This thing is, I don't know what it weighs, but it's very, very light.
Look at how crazy this thing is, guys.
But the pit stops you're in the pits for 82 seconds. It's amazing.
And I think that's where the guy sits, right here. I can't believe someone can actually fit in that thing.
I think it's all about weight.
And I mean, I'm pretty slim, but I mean, that's a tight squeeze. I don't know about that. Oh, here's the car. That's so cool. They're gonna play it. Oh no, it's not the car. Never mind. Well, as we said before, this is very strategically placed here on Park Avenue, because you have all the hedge funds, family offices, investment banks, and you know, when it comes time for bonus season, they could do some window shopping right here at Aston Martin. You know, this is more my speed, guys. I think this is better suited for me in terms of both affordability. Actually, probably not. I probably couldn't afford this. It looks like some carbon fiber bike. You guys see that? You know, some of these bikes can cost, you know, thousands of dollars for these road bikes right here. Cynthia Avis is how much is the bike? I'd say $2,000 maybe. It's one of those racing bikes. This is 425 Park. This is one of the newest Class A office towers in Manhattan. State-of-the-art office buildings are going up all over the city, and they're actually attracting tenants in record numbers. Since we're here, let's check out 432 Park one more time. Just to give you some perspective about looking at the building from the Upper East Side and then looking at the building when we're literally right next to it. It was funny, 3 weeks ago, I had no idea, but we started the live stream from this sort of table right here. And I went back and I looked at the live stream and I was like, oh my God, Harry Macklow was right here walking his dog when we were starting the stream. And I think I was talking about his building. So the developer has some units here. And yeah, he was made a little bit of a cameo on Walks on Wall Street right here. But look at how crazy that is. Seeing it this up close. Now, every single apartment has these huge 10-foot by 10-foot windows. Amazing, amazing. This is one of the most luxurious condominiums anywhere in the world, really. 432 Park. Wow, someone says the state-of-the-art mountain bikes run 20 to 30K. Whew. Okay, well, I was way off. $30,000 for a bike. Crazy, right? Now, we did a Billionaires Row walking tour, and if you notice, when you go through the front doors, you see this big kind of wood paneling there. That's a privacy shield. So all of the elevator banks are in the back of the building, so nobody could see the tenants here, or I should say the residents. Such an amazing shot. Hey, Justin says, hey Tom, quit pretending New York is beautiful. It's a piece of city right now. Thanks so much for your comment, Justin. Appreciate it. Now we're approaching Trump Tower. This is Madison Avenue. And this is the home base here, guys. 575 Madison. This is our offices here, Douglas Elliman. I go right in here for work every morning. So we're back on 57th Street. We'll make a left. Let's head all the way to Columbus Circle. Smoke slots as you stroll down Chinatown. Maybe we'll go down there tomorrow. I actually may go to Chinatown tomorrow for dinner. Hey, Victor says Buenos noches. Buenos noches, Victor. James is hello from California. What's up, James? Albatross is anyone that is thinking of moving into any of these places is dreaming and out of their minds. Vacancies galore, no residents. That's actually not entirely true. I actually have friends who have their primary residences in 157 Steinway Tower. Although it is true that a lot of foreign buyers use these as kind of like piggy banks in the sky, if you will. There was an interesting story of a Saudi billionaire that bought the top of 432 Park and he's never even moved in it. Hey, Les says, do you know any of the agents? Do I know any of the agents from $1 Million Listing New York? Yeah, that's who I work for. I work for Kirsten Jordan. She's the first female cast member on $1 Million Listing New York, and I work directly for her. I'm on her team, the Kirsten Jordan team at Douglas Elliman. Now, her husband is also a very, very well-renowned real estate developer, and he has a very boutique private equity firm, which I also work for. So we acquire properties in the city, build new residential, and we sell. We are one of consistently the top 10 teams in New York City. So Kirsten Jordan team at Douglas Elliman. Hey, Gary, what's up? Thanks so much for your $10 donation. Since it's Friday night, go buy yourself a martini, or at least payment on a martini. I know, right? Yeah, we could, what is it called? The pay over time, buy now, pay later. We could do BNPL for a martini, $10 down. Gary, appreciate you very much. Thank you for your support, and thank you for enjoying the stream. Hey, Chuck says you do make some valid points about San Francisco. Thank you, Chuck. Yeah, Evan, that's true. There was a class action lawsuit at 432. There was a lot of mechanical issues, a lot of things going on in that building. I think most of them have been rectified, but I don't think they've settled. I don't think there was a settlement yet in that building. I gotta plug in my phone here because the battery tends to die when it's quite cold out. Ooh, man, it's windy now. This is the GM building. All right, I'll put you guys down for a moment. I think we are good, my friends. Miller Room says I read that at the top of 432 Park Avenue you could feel the building sway. Yeah, and it's designed like that. It's the same thing at Central Park Tower. Now, it's a piece of engineering. It's called a damper. You could look it up. So at the top of 432 and at the top of Central Park Tower, they have these huge dampers that act as counterweights to the building so it doesn't fall over. It's crazy, right? Hey, Trade. Thank you so much. Second time tuning into the stream. I appreciate you very much. I appreciate you, Trade. Elliott Wave Reviews says, Tom, would you say that realtors who have a short and catchy name have an advantage over those who have long and complex ones. I really don't know. I don't know if there's any correlation to that. I don't know. I don't think people really care what your name is. I think they care if, you know, you're well connected and you could help other people and you could help them, you know, achieve their goal, get what they want, right? Also, if you could build good product. You know, there's also a lot of, you know, realtors at the very, very high end that are in on development. So if you could build good product and put your name out there, you know, you'll do really well. Now, I'll quickly show you a property that we were actually going to acquire, but unfortunately, we did not get the bid. This building right here, 5 East 59th Street, this is the old Playboy Club. Now, it went into foreclosure auction, had about $85 million worth of bad debt on the building, and it just sold at auction for 23 million bucks, steel, right here. 2 retail units on the bottom, 8 office spaces, and advertising display on the facade. You're right next to the iconic Sherry Netherland Hotel, adjacent from the Plaza Hotel, and right here at Central Park South. And this is kind of what I talk about when I say mispricing is an opportunity. In 10 years, right, we'll be walking past here, please God, if I'm still alive doing the stream, and we'll be like, do you guys know that in 2024, this whole building here sold for 24 million bucks or 23 million bucks? Can you believe that? So again, the distress in the commercial real estate market is going to cause a lot of mispricing. That's good news. It's actually very good news, because it can allow for very well-capitalized entrepreneurs to come in, acquire these properties, and make them nice, make a lot of new product, and even convert them into residential. So that's going to happen all over the city. It's going to happen all over America, and that's only going to be positive, right? Because if you think about one of the biggest adversities that we face, not only as New Yorkers, but as a country, it's affordable housing. And the only way you're going to get affordable housing is if you build homes, right? If you build apartments. Just supply and demand, right? Someone says, when are you going to Miami? I'm a long-time Miami resident. I will be going to Miami Sunday night, which I'm very, very excited about. I'll be home for about a week, but we will be doing the live streams from downtown Miami and Brickell. Now, speaking of real estate, we have some breaking news. Just announced there will be to kind of continue on the trend of the branded condominium buildings. Mercedes-Benz is going to be building a over 700 unit condo in Brickell. It's going to be amazing. So now you have the Porsche design tower down there. You have the Bentley design tower in Sunny Isles Beach. You have the Aston Martin building that it has 100% sellout in downtown Miami. And then lastly, you have the just announced Mercedes-Benz building down there, which is going to be really great. I'm really excited for that project. So we'll tour the site down there too. Hey, Mohammed, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Now, this is the residence at the Plaza Hotel, 1 Central Park South. So if you own or rent at the Plaza, you go in right here. But if you're staying at the Plaza, you go in on the 5th Avenue side. Hey, David, appreciate it. Thanks for joining. See you next time as well. Albatross says San Francisco is still struggling with the homelessness and the crimes. Tech exodus to the max. Yeah, I mean, you make a good point about the crime. The crime is really, really horrible there. It's embarrassing almost. But when you say tech exodus, what sort of data set are you pulling from? And I mean that sincerely. Like, I totally agree with you on your thesis that San Francisco is a horror show right now, particularly with the crime, the looting, and the like. But what do you mean specifically when you say tech exodus? Can you give some names? Can you cite your source? Because I don't know. I mean, I know I'm very, I know a lot of people in tech. I know founders. I'm very well connected in the VC community. And I mean, we're seeing the talent pool continue to be very robust in San Francisco. So I mean, I just don't know if that's the case. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe I'm just hearing something different. So there's a lot of people moving out of San Francisco, right? And selling their homes and buildings at fire sale prices. But in terms of like the founder community, it's still pretty robust from what I hear, actually. Hey, Andy from... We officially made it to 6th Avenue. Western Mass Dave, what's going on? Now we're looking up at the Steinway Tower. This is the skinniest residential apartment building in the entire world. It sits right on New York City's Billionaires Row. And we're also coming up on 106 Central Park South. This is Trump Park. Eric Trump actually has one of his primary residences here, or one of his many residences right in this building to the right. Hey, Austin City Limits. Good to see you. Hey, Adams, it's evening time. Just got back from the International Builders Show in Vegas. Consensus is the market is still booming. Very optimistic. Wow, Adam, very cool. I would like to know a little bit more about that, if you would. I'm very curious as to your experience there. If you have my email address, I know you're probably busy, but if you want to shoot me an email of, a little bit more in-depth of your thoughts, I think that's pretty good data. It's interesting. So this is the 57th Street subway station. This used to be the F train, but now they've rerouted it. It's the M. And I guess after 9 o'clock, there's no trains here. I just found that out. I just took the train here today, but I guess due to the construction, there's no trains here after 9. This is the M train, no longer the F. Hey, Thomas, this is hello from Indiana. So going on, Thomas. I think there was some interesting stuff going on at Lincoln Center today. Hey Elias, what's up? Good to see you. Thompson Hotel. So we're coming up on that building we were talking about, 157 West 57th Street. This was the first building ever constructed on New York City's Billionaires Row. The developer is Extel. Now on one side you have the Park Hyatt New York, and on the other side you have the residences. Now Robert Herjavec, I'm sure you know him from Shark Tank. He recently purchased a home here. So check it out, 157 West 57th Street. Pretty cool. Now there's only one available sponsor unit left in this building. And I actually gave you guys an inside look at that unit. It's one of 2 units in the entire building with private outdoor space. It's kind of crazy. If you want to see what it looks like inside 157, just type !57 in the chat. Once again, !57. And the Nightbot will drop the link to the video. It's pretty cool. This is a Billionaires Row building. You have a private restaurant, all the amenities of the 5-star hotel, the Park Hyatt. It's very, very cool. You have an aquarium. Hey, what's up, Dave? Thank you so much. Now this is the tallest building on New York City's Billionaires Row. Central Park Tower, 1,550 feet tall, crazy. Now today the biggest breaking news is that SMCI, so super microcomputer, is being added to the S&P 500. It was trading at $900 a share. At the close, it's trading at $1,000 a share after hours. So that's the next stock to be added to the S&P 500. So once trading commences again on Monday, super microcomputer will now be a part of the S&P 500. Also, the S&P 500 hit a brand new all-time record high today, again, closing above 5,100 for the first time in history. This is a rip-roaring bull market on Wall Street. And just as a reminder, last night we did send out our bi-weekly research piece where we cover US equities, fixed income, emerging markets, and New York City real estate. We talked about a lot, and I wrote a pretty in-depth piece about how we could use the price action in a lot of these boutique investment banks to gauge M&A activity, to gauge, the IPO pipeline, right? So take a look at that article. that I wrote. You could scan the QR code on your screen, punch in your email, and we publish every other week on our Substack. Look at some of the boutique investment banks. What is the price action telling us? You have Houlihan Lokey, you have Piper Sandler, Jefferies, right? Evercore. Huge earnings rebound. And also in the private equity market, you have companies like KKR, Apollo, also having massive earnings rebounds. That's telling us deals are getting done. The market's starting to open up. And, you know, a lot of people are caught on the wrong side of the trade, but that's really all the time we have for tonight, everybody. I want to wish you all a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for coming out and enjoying the stream. So if you enjoyed the live stream, feel free to leave a like on the video. Click the subscribe button if you're new. We do these live streams every single day, starting at 8:30. And if you're looking to move to New York City, buy or sell, feel free to reach out to me and work with us at the Kirsten Jordan team at Douglas Elliman. We're one of the top 10 teams in New York City. So guys, take care. God bless and be well. We'll see you soon. Elias, appreciate it. Jeff W277, Todd and Tara, our good moderators, Austin City Limits and Hawaii. Trade, I appreciate you very much. Thank you, DC322, Michelle, TK Porsche. Thank you so much. Always a bull market somewhere. You just need to know where to look. Brad's Brain, Justin, Lori, DM. Take care, everybody. God bless. And Western Mass Dave, Unij23, Tariq Khan. All right, hopefully I'll see you in Miami.